everyone. Welcome to Life Out Loud. Woo! I'm Junie Moon. I'm your host, and I got another great show for you today. I'm so excited. But as always, I just want to start off by saying who I am, what this is about, and why I'm so glad you're here, okay? So I am a certified shadow work facilitator and coach. My passion, my mission is to help people soar in their life by getting out of their own way. That means getting rid of sabotaging behavior that limits them and stops them. So I do that with individual one-on-one work. I do workshops, group work, and I do retreats around the country. So yeah, I love helping people really stand fully in their life by helping them lower the volume of their inner critic and all the other voices that say you can't do what you want. So that's my passion, that's my mission. And you can find out more about me at innercritictamer.com. And for a short time more, you can pick up my ebook called How to Tame Your Inner Critic. It's free right now on my website, so grab it if you'd like. And if you want to know more about me, just go to my website. So Life Out Loud, why? Why do I do this? Why did I create this? Because I'm not the only one doing work out in the world that I think is making a big difference, because I know the work I do makes a big difference in a lot of people's lives, and it's not the only way to do it. There's so many other amazing leaders of our time that are walking their talk and helping people just spread their wings and live fully. And I pick people that I think are just amazing, transformational instigators of change. Well, I like that, instigators of change. I might want to use that. Anyway, this is live. I come up with stuff all the time. Anyway, so mark that down, instigator of change. So I have an amazing guest today. I'm going to pull up her bio and tell you all about Marla Mervis Hartman. She helps women, and guys. I know there's some guys there, so she helps women. But listen to what she offers today and take it in, because it's for everybody. She helps women to honor and appreciate their bodies. And she's the creator of Love Your Body, Love Yourself. And she assists women to find a yes with an exclamation to the question, do you love your body? You might want to ask yourself that. As a professional coach, she works one-on-one to empower women to feel their juiciness. Marla is a living light Reiki master, and she's been doing that for over 10 years. She enthusiastically practices and teaches Reiki. And she teaches women's sexuality workshops and yoga. She's a mother herself to a 4-year-old, and she shares her passion for body acceptance to pregnant and postpartum mothers, and teaches mama movement classes. So she does a bunch of amazing things, helping people really love themselves on so many different levels. And we're going to touch on a lot of different topics today. But right now, let me just get her up on the screen and see this lovely woman. Marla, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me, Junie.
You are so welcome. I'm just so amazed at the beautiful background that you have and how you're going. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was saying to Marla when she popped on my screen and I saw her, I'm like, we're going to be talking about loving our bodies, but right now I love her body. I'm like, she's just glowing. The background, her hair. I'm like, oh my God.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hope I'm not embarrassing you, but you're just like, you're
not. It's okay.
Enjoy it. So I am thrilled you're here. There's so much in this topic of loving ourselves, loving our body. What does that mean? Where are we on the spectrum of loving our bodies? So, what I would love to do, Marla, is actually start off with a question for you. Well, I'm going to be asking lots of questions, but a very specific question. Do you love your body?
I do love my body. And I'm so grateful that I can say that, Junie. I never, ever, ever thought that I would love my body, and B, I would be like sharing it and teaching other women and other people how to love their bodies. I never thought that I would surrender to my body, listen to my body, and actually love it. I'm just amazed. So, and I say that for people out there who are really struggling and thinking that they're never going to be able to love their body. Because I know in my own journey that it just took me down such really, really uncomfortable places.
Yeah.
That there is a way.
Well, the fact that you said you're amazed that you love your body, of course, leads me to the next question, which is, well, if you're amazed, there must have been a time when you didn't. And maybe give us a little sense of your journey to this point. You know, how did you get to this place that you can go, wow, like I really love my body?
Yeah, well, you know, there were so many different manifestations of not loving my body depending on different times in my life. And wondering how the sound is right now.
It's good. There's sometimes a little sound, little piercing,
little something, but
here. Thanks.
Okay. So different manifestations of not loving my body, and it showed up in many different ways. So one way would be just like really always obsessing about what I was eating and how I was going to somehow get rid of it if it was exercising. So a lot of restrictive eating, a lot of like not living my life and everything being about my food and about my body and if I was okay, right? So really limiting myself to like if you think about the fullness of yourself, and like I really cut myself down so much because of this obsession.
Well, can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by the obsession? Because I'm reading between the lines here. I myself have been challenged with food and restriction and diets and not loving my body and feeling uncomfortable in my own skin. Did you have weight issues? Was it just you just didn't like how you looked? Did you just not feel comfortable? Like, can you tell us a little bit more about what that was for you and why you went through that?
Right. Well, I didn't come from big numbers, right? So I've probably been about 10 pounds lighter than I am and 10 pounds heavier, right? And at my lowest weight, I was probably the craziest that I've ever been. So when you're saying specifically like what the obsession was, is that my days and my self-worth and how, if it was a good day or not, depended on how I ate and if I did the specific type of exercise, right?
Yep.
So that obsession was everything revolved around food.
Yep.
So if you and I are sitting and having dinner at a restaurant, I may be looking at you and being like, yeah, but I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is she going to eat that? Is she going to eat the food? Or, am I eating too fast? And, what am I going to order? Or, oh my gosh, did I eat too much? Like that sort of like background noise was always there.
Yep.
So it made me,
yep.
Yeah, it made me completely undereat, binge eat, because what happens is when we restrict diet, we usually go the other way. We binge to make up for it because I was white knuckling it, and that's what I've seen with so many people. It's just a constant cycle. It won't stop until you get off the cycle, right? Yep.
So when I do this show, I obviously have a good sense of who you are, what you do, or we've had a chat, so I know overall where we're going. And I then never really know what we're going to talk about. And so you are touching on some things that are so close to the bone for me that I've lived and talk about. One of the things I want to and I know I want to get to you, but I've got to talk.
Please, yeah. We're in it together, baby.
I've got to talk about this because, there's so much here. First of all, there's the idea that if you're a certain size that you don't have the crazy going on in your head. And that is something that I learned years ago that, just because I see someone probably like you and go, oh, wow, she doesn't have anything to worry about because she looks XYZ, which is my perception, my wiring of how somebody looks. And then I have a story around it. Doesn't mean that you are not sitting with me eating thinking, should I, shouldn't I? I mean, I used to talk about this years ago about when I was really crazy with food, which has been 14 years since I've been crazy around food. 14 years ago, I really changed my relationship with food. But I used to tell people that at parties or at dinners or whatever, that you might think I'm right there with you, but the brownies over there are calling me. Or the food over there is going, June, there's not that much left. Hurry up. And when my son was going to sleep, this was when I actually started the journey, because I was like, I'm fucking crazy, because I couldn't wait for him to go to sleep so that I can go eat. And I would feel all this anxiety and the crazy brain of, so much energy goes into, or can go into, this watching ourselves and watching our food and deciding if we actually have a good day by looking at how we worked with our food. So I hear that you broke that loop, as I did. So I'm so grateful you're talking about it, and talking about the fact that 10 pounds up, 10 pounds down. Someone like me years ago would have been like, oh, fuck her, 10 pounds, I got 50 pounds. She has no idea, Meanwhile, here we are as human beings struggling, and here you and I are in a place where we are offering people a way out so that they can have access to more energy, more freedom. So, okay, back to you. Tell us more about your journey.
Well, I so appreciate you bringing that up, because I think what that brings up for me, Junie, is that as women, we need to start celebrating each other more. Like there is such this divide, this competition, this constant judging. And I know when I was in the meat of it all, right, that it would be like, oh, I wonder if she ate this morning breakfast. Oh, I wonder, do I look like her? Oh, why would she wear that outfit? I would never wear that, and I'm thinner than her, or I will never be as thin as she is.
Right.
That constant comparing and then bearing over it. And one of the things that helped me to shift my relationship with my body is to start looking out around me and start celebrating every woman and every body. And to really acknowledge that we're all women, and I don't know any woman really that hasn't had something come up in their journey of life being a woman, right? That around their body and feeling good about their body, right? We've all had these experiences. So for us to look at the world, we're all in this together. This is an epidemic that's really heavy on women.
Yep.
And I think when we start to shift that, it helps us to appreciate ourselves more too.
Yeah. Again, so much there. Can we be kinder to other people, other women? And of course, I always say, do the inner work. The more kind we are to ourselves, the more relaxed I am, the more I'm able to love other people. Getting some feedback. That's interesting. Just a quick check. I'm hearing me. Sorry guys, if you could just wait a second. Do you have sound coming through your? Okay, no, it's not. Okay, maybe it was just a moment. All right, if that can try. Okay. Yes, women are so hard on each other, and we do need to support each other. And thankfully, more and more, we're having these conversations.
We are
finding love for ourselves, which also allows us to love each other more and have compassion for each other. Talking about the judging of other people and what was she thinking, what she's wearing what, and
right.
I remember, I don't know, it was about a year ago actually, and somebody had posted on Facebook, a woman on the beach. She and her partner were, oh great, my computer's like, let's check for updates. No, I don't think so. Wrong time, bad time. Just did that. Anyway, the picture was from behind. She had a two-piece bathing suit on, and kind of a G-stringy kind of thing. I don't know much about those, but anyway, she was showing a lot of flesh, and somebody wrote, "What was she thinking?" And what then happened after was a thread that was vicious. Oh, shoot me if I ever look like that. What they should have a special beach for them. I mean, it was like, oh,
that so hurts my heart.
I know. So, so what I did was, I took a breath, of course, because I didn't want to be in that negative space, and I didn't want to shame them, because I know that everything that they were saying came from the wiring of our culture and the wiring of whatever they picked up along the way about how they're supposed to be and how they're not supposed to be, how they're supposed to look. And so I started another, like, you know, kind of conversation in there talking about what I feel and how I've been a certain way in my discomfort, and hearing us bashing each other like that. And, you know, and I started a conversation which allowed people to go, whoa, you're right. We're really being mean to each other.
Oh,
yeah,
good for
right.
you,
I'm working so hard and not looking like that, which makes me so tight. It's like, how does that limit our life? How does that limit our expression? So I'm thinking maybe we talk a little bit about that, because I know you were talking about the impact of not loving yourself and loving your body.
Yeah, and just like the self-worth, like this woman's self-worth and her like walking on the beach has everything to do with what she looks like. She's a human being with love to give and to share and so much purpose, and has nothing to do with whether she wears, you know, a full length dress to the beach or, you know, a jeans.
Yeah.
I mean, go girl, you know? There's nothing wrong with flesh. Flesh is really nice.
Loves how she looks, you know, and God willing, she does. And who are we to say she doesn't? But that's the programming. And that's when we have to bring it back to ourselves and go, well, what do I think about my body? You know, I'm on the spectrum here. You know, it's like so far away from the self-hatred, but I got some work to do. You know, I got naked on my video and I've come a long way, my God. But, you know, there's still moments I look in the mirror and it takes away my life force. It takes away my energy when I have that moment of, ooh, you know, this is a little this, is a little that. But then coming back to the truth of who I am and what's possible, and loving myself so I can really show up fully and not be judging, which just limits me so completely, you know?
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, loving our bodies is, at this day and age, for some people, is a very courageous act. Now, I know there's a lot of courageous acts, but like, if we can love ourselves in the face of all of the, you know, the thin ideal that we're pressed on, which is like 5% of the world population has the thin ideal. Like, can we really get that through our heads? That we're not, you know, we this idea of what the perfect body is it's not even real.
Yep.
It's, you know, so like if we can take that off and like look at the reality, right? The reality of the woman's body. And like, I know it's my responsibility as a woman to love my body, because that gives other people permission to love their bodies. It gives my nieces permission to love their bodies. It, you know, it creates a different mindset. And I'm a big advocate on really teaching and sharing with mothers how to have a language of love for their bodies. They want to teach their children how to care, have self-care, and not to keep this epidemic of shame and dieting, that they need to do the healing for themselves. So comments like, oh, I can't wear that because my arms are too big, or no, I can't eat that because I want to be thinner. Children pick that up. They pick up everything, right? So as, you know, as a mother to a little boy, you know, that's even just as important that he feels that I love my body.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's no wobble there.
So when you say I love my body, what do you actually mean? Because when I think of that, I think there's lots of different pieces to that. You know, there's the accepting my body as a sexual human being. There's the loving my body as a sexual human being. There's the being grateful for having my body to get me around. I mean, like, there's so many pieces to loving my body. When you talk about it, what do you actually mean?
Well, I would just say yes, yes, and yes to what you already said, right? So the interesting thing is that loving your body doesn't have to look like, you know, like, it doesn't have to look that you're flaunting it, that you have your, you know, that you're putting it all out there. It's this inner calmness for me, what we were talking about as far as like that obsession of thinking about food and not feeling like I'm okay. That goes away, and there's just this inner calmness in relationship to my body, right? And to me, that comes from listening. So loving my body means I'm actually listening to my body. I'm listening to what it wants, and I'm giving it, right? So for me, I came from way over exercising and really beating my body up from over exercising. So for me, the listening would be to listen to like what my body actually wants in the moment or that day, right? So maybe it doesn't want to go on, to a CrossFit class or whatever. It wants to do some yoga or stretch or do nothing, right? So that is loving my body. Right? It's eating food that feels loving. And that can look like one day eating, vegetables and, protein and very simple. It can also look like sitting down to ice cream and cake with chocolate syrup. Like there's love in all of that.
Yep.
And so for me, the love comes from actually listening to what my body wants. Right? And that's what loving. And like you said, appreciating it for getting me around, appreciating that I had a baby in my belly and, and loving my body. And this is a big piece too, Judy. It's like loving our bodies, even if our body is in pain. Because that's kind of the next evolution. Just like, it's not just the body image too. It's like, love our bodies, even if it doesn't show up every day the way we expect it.
Yep.
Right? If we have back pain, right? Loving that back pain, not leaving it like shaming. It's like loving all of us, showing up for those places with love. So if I'm having a moment where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable with my body or the way it looks like in a pair of jeans, I will slow that down, because I know that if I am having an issue with my body, there's really something underneath it. It's not really about my body. So when I start, the moment I have a cuckoo crazy thought, I'm on it. I'm on it, and I'm like, what is really happening here? What am I really in fear of? What is the real issue? It's not about my jeans.
Yep.
And what my butt looks like, or the fact that I can't wear them, they don't fit me right now. There's something deeper. Maybe it's self-worth. Maybe it's being uncomfortable going to a certain situation or being in a relationship with someone. So I think loving our bodies allows us to slow down and listen more.
What I'm hearing is really good tracking, tracking our thoughts, tracking what's going on inside. We get so busy, life can be so full, and the next thing you know, we're acting in ways that we don't want to act, whether it's binge eating or whatever the behavior is, especially when it comes to food in our bodies. But what I'm hearing is the deep listening, the slowing down, really helps you get in tune and in touch with what's really going on. And that, that's a lot of what I work with people, because we could say, love your body, accept your body, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. But at the end of the day, if underneath it, you have voices in your head or old programming that says, you're fat and no one's going to love you, or, he's going to think you're ugly, or whatever it is, that is going to get in the way of relaxing and enjoying your partner, enjoying yourself, and being in front of a group of people. I mean, many years ago, all that background noise, I could have said, I'm wonderful, I'm wonderful, I'm wonderful, to the cows come home. That's, affirmations are awesome. But at the end of the day, if underneath in the background, I have this voice saying to me, you really look like shit, that outfit makes your hips look too big, whatever it is. And then underneath that, it's not, is it really about my body? No, it's about my fear of being inadequate. It's about my fear of falling short, fear that someone's not going to love me or judge me or think, who am I to be up there on the stage? I'm outside in the audience. I'm not inside doing or being in the moment, inside myself, in my fullest expression, because if something else is running me. So the intention of loving ourselves fully is just magnificent, and we need to listen. Absolutely.
Yes.
And then dive deeper, because it's not about the tight jeans. It's what do the tight jeans mean to us? When we have tight jeans, what do we say to ourselves about ourselves? Oh yeah, I've been screwing up with my food, and and now I'm a piece of shit that's not lovable, and now I'm scared, and now I'm not worthy enough for anything and anyone. So let me just do some more, or just hide, or whatever it is, which limits us from living fully. So right on, sister, absolutely.
Right. Well, you're saying so much too there, Junie. And one of the things I want to say is that we need each other. Like, someone may be watching this and they may get the click, right? And they may something maybe snap in. But the truth is that some of this is deeper. Like, I needed support. I needed help. Most of my spiritual journey was around fixing this part of me, right? Which didn't really need to get fixed. I just need to surrender. But we need support. We need someone like you or me and other people to help us go to be with those places that are scared, that are uncomfortable, and hold them with love. Yep. And when we learn how to do that for ourselves, hold ourselves in love, right? That is one of the most beautiful, beautiful journeys. And the other thing I want to say, that what you were saying as far as tracking, is that we create neural pathways on the ways that we talk to ourselves.
Absolutely.
So if we continue to say the same thing over and over and over again, if I eat too much and then a normal thought comes in, that's just running. We can retrain ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's the work that I do, which is the shadow work, because we could say all the affirmations, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, to the cows come home. It helps. It definitely helps, start neural pathways. But most of what's going on up here is unconscious. And so we need to access those thoughts. We need to track what's underneath that's telling us that we're fat, we're ugly, we're not good enough, we're unlovable, whatever it is, because that is what's going to keep running and grooving in our brain mapping. Neural pathways being these thoughts creating literally in our brain these pathways that make us feel a certain way. And so we need to break those patterns, and there's different ways of doing it. Affirmations do help, but to really go deeper into understanding that, and like you said, finding support, reaching out so someone else can hear what we may not hear, or see what we don't see, that is creating the mapping that has us feeling inadequate in our fear and unable to love ourselves.
Yes, and one tool I just want to give everyone right now is around this is stop talking about your body negatively to your friends. Like, women get together, they talk about men and they talk about their bodies, right? It's a lot of conversation that, women sometimes have. And I know I had one specific relationship with one of my friends, and we would get together and we would exercise, we would talk about food, we would lament about food, we would talk about our bodies. And I finally was just like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like, it's actually boring to me.
Yep.
There's nothing in this for me anymore at all. And it definitely changed our relationship for a while, but I know it put a place of peace in her. Like, when we just we just take ourselves out of the conversation, just because all it's doing is feeding that negative place within us.
When you think about what you just said, feeding the negative place within us, I mean, that is what we're doing with our food a lot of the times. And this topic is not just about food and diet, but we are feeding our fears with who we're around, who surrounds us, the thoughts that we tell ourselves, what people are telling ourselves. You brought up a memory. I don't remember what I was saying, but I was saying something to a dear friend of mine, and she saw me bashing myself a little bit. And instead of shaming me for bashing myself, she said, Junie, I have to let you know that you're not being very kind to my friend right now. You're saying,
oh, I love that.
you're saying some really, really hurtful things to my friend right now. And I don't want to hear you talk so harshly to her. And it was like, it stopped me. And I was like, wow, you're right. I would not say this to anybody else. Why am I saying it to myself? And
Oh, what a good friend you have.
I want to surround myself with people that, like yourself, that we know the negative thinking is just moving that in more and more into our being, versus supporting each other in a much higher, more beautiful truth, in my opinion, which is we are spirit, we are divine, we have gifts, we have so much to offer, we're beautiful no matter what shape or size. We need to rewire that. And that's how we can make a very big difference in the world, certainly with our children and the people that surround us.
Right. And that's really great because like we were talking about unlocking the power of body acceptance. Like, what happens when we start to accept our body? We start to live our lives, right? Like the prison is gone and now I can step out in my fullness and know that I am not just my body. I have so much more to share, and there's so much more deeper intimacy in my relationships, right? So for me, when I let this go, my life really opened up for me.
Exactly.
I became so much more present. Everything that I was doing, I had more energy. Like, wow. Like the amount of energy I put into this, now all of that energy was going into places that I wanted to grow, you know, my work, my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Being able to be present, to be truly present, because going back to what we were saying before about food calling us, or us thinking about how we're eating and not being present to the person in front of us, to be able to quiet those voices down so that we really can live our life. I am so much more free of that crazy thinking than I was years ago. I mean, I still have a ways to go, but oh my God, the energy. I mean, I still think, you know, when I die and meet my maker, if there's such a thing, I'm gonna go, oh my God, so much friggin' energy I wasted on thinking about my thighs jiggling. You know,
right?
Like seriously, is that what I spent, you know, all those hours and all the gym hours, versus saying, like this morning when I was working out, I am feeding my body such good energy right now. I'm moving my body. I'm energizing my body because I want to show up fully for my life. Whoa, what a difference. What a difference. Marla, I just want to pause for a second because there's a couple of comments in the chat box. And what we got here. So hello, everyone, first of all. Mike says, you have the same philosophy as Carmela Ramaglia of Happy Calories Don't Count. I don't know her. Do you know her?
I don't know her, but I will check her out. Thank you so much, Mike. Happy Calories Don't Count. I like it.
Yeah, and Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte. Hey, Marla. Charlotte here. Good to see you and know that you're doing so well. I've been doing Pilates and feeling better about my body, but I have what I call my Buddha belly. We love your Buddha belly. And getting over that part is difficult. I have a Buddha belly. I know. I have. You know, I had a C-section, and so I have, the little pouch, as I call it, and you know, we all have our different shapes of our belly. And I'm not going to speak to your belly. And I know you asked Marla the question, but I just wanted to say that our bellies have so much power. Our bellies are so beautiful. They come in all shapes and sizes. And boy, you know, if we can allow ourselves to really embrace all of who we are, especially our bellies, look out. But I hear that you're having some challenge around that. So let's see what Marla has to say about your Buddha belly.
Yeah, so we'll call it your goddess belly, right? So when we look back at some of those, you know, pictures from the past, having that yummy, juicy belly full was really a beautiful thing, right? And I know I want to bring this up because I think this is such an important piece, is that oftentimes when we don't like a part of ourselves, we hide it, we shame it, and we're not very nice to it, right? We kind of disassociate from it. So I had that with my arms, and I would just be like, oh, I hate my arms. They look like football player arms. And, you know, it just like really was not nice to them. Then it had this click. I'm like, why are my arms ever going to do anything in alignment with what I'm wanting them to look like, right? If I'm not loving them and caring for them. So I started like massaging them and saying, oh, I love you, arms. I so appreciate you for being so strong. And, you know, I just really appreciate all the things that you've done for me. And so when I would go to work them out, right, or, you know, doing my exercises, it wasn't from this place of discomfort. I'm gonna like, I hate them. There was love streaming in, and they started to shape in a way that I had a different relationship to them, and they seemed like they changed. Or if anything, I'm totally okay with them. So loving your belly, giving energy to your belly. I know I have that a lot with mothers that I work with, is that they'll kind of disassociate from their bellies because they don't like their bellies after pregnancy. So they'll completely let it alone. And I'm like, no, you need to bring energy into your belly. So Charlotte, I appreciate you bringing this up, and however you are with your belly, I would just invite you to just hold it, love it, be with it. You know, even while you're doing your Pilates, right? It's like our food in our body is not our enemy. We need to make them our friend.
Yep.
Right? We want to become friends with our body. So be friends with your luscious goddess belly.
Yep. Yes, exactly. Be friends with your goddess belly. And, you know, you were talking about your arms, and, you know, whether they changed or not, like you said, you have a relationship with them. And again, going back to neural pathways, if you're saying you love yourself, you love your body, you love your arms, you love your thighs, you know, we are changing how we view it. We're changing how we feel about our bodies, and our brain is changing as well. And it does allow our bodies to shift and change too. Because cellularly, I knew that was going to be a hard one. Things change with our thoughts. I mean, there's so much out there. I'm noticing the time. You have a special gift for people, so I want to put that up so people can grab it. It's a special audio. Do you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yes. So I have an audio that is a dynamic meditation. It's called My Vibrant Body. So this meditation is about moving your body, getting into your breath, and getting into a meditation with your mind, body, and spirit, but through movement as well. Because I'm a big advocate in being in our bodies, right? And bringing not just it in being in our mind, but bringing this through our body through movement. So I'd love for you to check it out and let me know what you guys think of it.
Beautiful. So the offer is there. You can click on it. You can go right to it and grab the audio. You know, the other thing about bellies, I just want to throw out to everybody, wherever you are in the country, wherever you are in the world, there is an event that happens. I don't think it happens every year, but it's called the Belly and Womb Conference. It's usually in Massachusetts. Elisa Starkweather is the founder, and it is, I don't know, 150 plus women coming together to really honor and embrace our bellies, our goddess bellies. We bathe our bellies, we dance, we honor each other, we sing, we chant, we dive deep into the pain of where the messages have come from that made us feel anything less than full and beautiful. So the Belly and Womb Conference is something you might want to check out. Just like really, really seeing the cost in the self-hatred, you know, to be able to release the inner dialogue that has us scared and limited and unable to relax, that has a high cost. It had a high cost for me with my child because I was so busy trying to get him to sleep for me to eat, or, you know, oh my gosh, you know, he's not watching this, so I'll come out of the closet stealing his Halloween candy. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, Matthew, I stole your Halloween candy. I couldn't help it. I was crazy. But yes, I was a thief. I stole my kids' Halloween candy because I was so panicked. I was so, like, I had to calm my nerves down. I felt so uncomfortable inside of myself, so inadequate. And, you know, just knowing that I have that, like, I did something like that, that I felt so uncomfortable in my being, that that ripples out into everything and everyone I come in contact with. So to relax and to be whole. I mean, that's what this is about, right, Marla?
Yeah, and I just want to slow that down a little bit, because anyone who's watching this who's had one of those experiences, and maybe you just did it, right, is to not put shame upon shame, is to hold space for yourself. Like, Junie, I would, if this was happening right now, I'd say, oh, Junie, like, I know you're feeling shame about doing that, but let's look at, like, what actually, what part of you needed to do that, and let's bring some love to that. Let's bring some light to that part, rather than putting it on the shame that you actually did it.
Exactly. Right. And that's where I think the compassion comes, because that, to me, I've been holding that secret. Like, he doesn't know that, and someday I'll come clean with him when he's willing to hear it. But knowing that I did something and that I have shame around that, or whatever it is in our life that we're holding. I've been toying with the idea of writing an ebook called Secrets Suck, because secrets suck. They suck the life out of us. They have us holding back our truth and have us feeling and living in shame, which really just depletes us of our existence. So I thank you for that, for slowing that down for me and for everyone, because adding insult to injury when why was that? What made me do that? What made me cross that line with my son's Halloween candy? I can tell you now, I was not a happy camper,
Right. Yeah, I'm liking another comment that we're having over here too, is some guys like tits and some butts, but I love women with arms. And I think that's just an interesting thing to bring up, because a lot of women think that men have the same ideal that we have for ourselves. We're looking for a man, thinking that then we'll get them a man. Then they'll get them the job.
Can you hear me clearly, Marla? Can you hear me clearly?
You're a little wobbled.
No, because your voice, mine too. It just sounds like, you can only hear what I'm hearing. It sounds like you just got taken over by the devil.
Oh, really? That's so funny. I wonder why you're looking so strange.
Oh, well, this is interesting. So
is it still doing that?
Really important.
Is it still doing that? Do I still sound like the devil? Okay. Well, I'm just touching on, as the devil, that that we often think that getting thin is going to get us a man. It's going to get us a job that we want. And that men have this thin ideal like we do. And the wake-up call for everyone is that there's a lot of men out there who may mirror that to you, but may really appreciate your body, your curves, your juiciness, and to really accept that.
Yeah.
To accept their appreciation for you.
Yeah. The devil is gone. That was so weird. Wait till you hear the playback on that. And that was also very freeing to me. I started going to new beaches and being in environments that were clothing optional. And I started seeing so many different types of bodies, and I was in conversations in communities about bodies and love and connection and what we're seeing and how we're feeling about each other. And it kind of broke through the barriers, and certainly changed my perspective. But yes, there's something to be said about attraction, and who are we to say that it all comes in one size package? It doesn't. I've always been curvy. I've always been a juicy, curvy woman. My man is always telling me I've got a woman's body, and you know what? I've got a woman's body. And I'm embracing it and I'm loving it. And there have been times when I thought, oh, I need to look a certain way. Because I'll be loved more if I look that way. And at the end of the day, it's me loving me. It comes down to me loving me. And not every man or every woman is going to be attracted to me in my body. And you know what? That's okay. As
That
long
is
as
okay.
I love me, you know?
Right. We're going to attract people around us who will love us. I think about all the women in my life and all the, my mother and my, like, just everyone, all the different shapes and sizes of women in my life. And my love for them is not based on what they look like.
Yep, exactly.
That's what we really need to internalize.
Exactly. We're almost out of time. Todd just joined us and said, I want to go to a nude beach, and that's my love. So yes, baby, we'll go to a nude beach and we'll go have some fun. It's great. It's a great experience. Have you been to a nude beach before, Marla?
Oh yeah. If I could be, I'd be naked most of the time.
Me too. And years ago, my former husband was like, like he loved to be naked. I'd be like, and he helped me a lot get way more comfortable with being naked and just being in those environments and going to new beaches. It's a journey, guys. So, you don't have to go to a new beach to get comfortable in your own skin.
No, you don't.
You don't have to do anything really other than slow down. I think that's the biggest message here today. Slow down, go in, and really listen to what's really happening inside of you. What is it that you're wanting? What is it that you're needing? I think about my therapist years ago saying, if the refrigerator is open and you're staring in there going, what do I want? It's not in there, and
Right.
it's like, well, if you're not happy, if you're struggling, or you're having self-hatred, or you're having issues with food or diet or whatever it is, it's like, what is it that's really happening inside of you? What are you telling yourself, and what do you really need? And reach out for support. I'm a shadow worker. She's helping. Oh, we didn't even get to the Reiki. Oh my God. All right. We're past time, but I really, 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 really wanted to talk about your Reiki. Please tell people about your Reiki and how you help people, if you're willing, if you have a couple more minutes. Because I went on all these great tangents, but I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know Reiki is an energy healing. And so bringing universal life force in, or love, to me, it's the energy of love, right? So I've been sharing, teaching, and giving Reiki to myself for like 15 years, teaching for 10. And it's been a big part of my journey in learning to love my body, because I would be giving Reiki to myself, sharing it with others, telling and sharing with people that Reiki was about unconditional love, non-judgmental. And then I would have these moments where I was just in complete shutdown around loving my body, right? So I was really able to see where I was in resonance to what I was sharing. It was a big wake-up call for me. And so I will often, Reiki is really, it infiltrates everything that I do, because it is love and it is non-judgmental. And so whether I am actually giving a session with someone, or I am, working one-on-one coaching, helping women love their body, the Reiki is always present, because it is this beautiful space that is love, and we know that love heals everything. So I'm such a advocate of energy work and Reiki and women's sexuality and sensuality, which is a huge other piece of what I really think is important, and with my own journey and what I help women with too. Yeah.
Thank you. I really wanted to give you that opportunity to talk about that, because there's so much healing that comes through the Reiki, and we're talking about love. We're talking about love and acceptance, energy, and boy, we could go on for hours, Marla, but we are over time at this point. So I just want to thank you again for being here. You are just a love and a bright light, and doing this great work in the world.
Thank you, Jenny. Thanks so much for having me. It's a good conversation.
Yeah, thank you. And tell them your website so they know where to find you.
Oh yeah, it is loveyourbodyloveyourself.org.
Okay. And I'm going to pull up your offer again so people can see it if you want to grab her audio. And if you want to know more about my work, you can go to innercritictamer.com and grab the ebook there. And if you enjoyed this, please tell your friends. There's so many people that are suffering, men and women, around loving themselves, whether it's their body or whether it's just loving themselves, period. We all need to love ourselves. And in this day and age when there's so much going on, we need to love ourselves even more, because the more access we have to our fullness, the more we can go out there in the world and make the world the way we want to make it, which is full of love and peace and, you know, equality and, you know, everything that we want to create. If we're limiting ourselves, we're not able to do what we're meant to do. So share it with your friends. Much love to you all. Marla, again, thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you, Judy.
you know, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Talk about gratitude. Let's like focus on the gratitude of our bodies and what they give us, you know. And love you all. Be well.
Bye.